Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Najmil Hakimi bin Muhammad Bahid and my student ID is 2023460154.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Muhammad Izham Alif bin Abdul Rani, student ID 2023476912 and I am from RCDCS 1443F.
Acknowledgement. We are deeply appreciative of the teamwork and effort demonstrated by all members of our group. Each individual played a vital role in overcoming challenges and ensuring the success of this project. We also extend our thanks to our families and friends for their constant encouragement, which motivate us to stay focused and dedicated throughout the process. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Madam Bakia Montar, our dedicated lecturer, for her invaluable guidance, encouragement and support throughout the course of this project. Her expertise and constructive feedback have been instrumental in helping us successfully complete this report. Finally, we also wish to thank the students of RCS150F at UiTM for their enthusiastic participation in our survey. Their willingness to provide honest and thoughtful response made this research possible. Their contribution has been a critical part of our analysis and findings, enabling us to better understand student preference for campus cafe.
Objective of study. The first one is to record possible outcomes of third semester student preferences for Mangga Sinai Apples Cafe in UiTM Perlis. Next, to calculate the probability of third semester students choosing each cafe based on factors such as food quality, price, atmosphere, location, and service speed. And lastly, to differentiate between the experimental probability and theoretical probability of cafe preferences among third semester students in UiTM Perlis.
The significance of this project lies in its potential to provide valuable insights into the factors influencing third semester students' preference for cafes at UiTM, especially Mangga, Sinai and Apple. By analysing the outcomes of this study, university cafe management can better understand students' behaviour and cater to their needs more effectively, ensuring a more satisfying dining experience. This project will help identify which factors such as food quality, pricing, atmosphere, and convenience most influence students' choices, allowing the cafe to tailor their services accordingly. Additionally, the experiment will differentiate between experimental and theoretical probabilities of student preference, offering a deeper understanding of how real life behaviors align with expected trends. Ultimately, the findings can contribute to improving student satisfaction, increasing cafe patronage, and fostering a more conducive environment for both academic and social activities at UiTM. Experimentation. We conducted a survey about students' favourite cafe in semester 3 of the Mathematical Science Diploma. This survey was conducted for all students from RCS 1433F as our population. We have collected a list of students' names along with data on the survey by using the Google platform for them to fill in the question given. We choose 20 students as our sample for this experiment based on the data from our population and the names on the student list. Request that students fill out the Google form with 3 different cafes that differ in frequency. One partner will pick number from the list randomly with a random number generated and record the result. Population: all 35 students from RCS 1433F group. Sample: 20 students of our population selected randomly from analysis. Sample space: Cafe Mangga, Cafe Apple and Cafe Sinai. From our experiment, 2 out of students choose Cafe Kesinai as a favorite cafe. Most of our students choose Cafe Manga as their favorite cafe, which is 14 out of 20 students. Next, 4 out of the students choose Cafe Apple as their favorite cafe. Next is Chapter 3 Result and Interpretation. This is our result from experiment. What is the experimental probability of a student from the class RCDCS 1433F choosing each of the following favorite cafe, Manga, Kesinai, and Apple? For the calculation, we will use the formula PE equal total number of trials divided by frequency of event. For Manga, 14 divided by 20. For Kesinai, 2 divided by 20. For Apple, 4 divided by 20.
So for the question C, what is the theoretical probability of obtaining each of the cafe, Manga, Kesinai, and Apple? So for this question, we will use the theoretical probability formula, which is the total number of favorite cafe divided with total number of possible outcomes. So for Manga, we got there 15 over 25. For Kesinai, we got it 4 over 25. And for Apple, we get 6 over 25. So for question E, what is the difference between experimental probability of Cafe Kesinai and the theoretical probability of obtaining Cafe Kesinai? Write answer as a percent rounded to the nearest whole percentage. So it is still the same with the question D. So we will still use the same step. So for experimental probability of Cafe Kesinai, we got there is 2 over 20 minus with the theoretical probability of Cafe Kesinai 4 over 25. Then we get it negative 0.06. Then we times with 100. Then we get it negative 6%. So in this experiment, out of 20 times of picking a random number, there is a 6% chance of not getting Cafe Manga over the theoretical probability. So for question E, what is the difference between experimental probability of Cafe Kesinai and the theoretical probability of obtaining Cafe Kesinai? Write answer as a percent rounded to the nearest whole percentage. So it is still the same with the question D. So we will still use the same step. So for experimental probability of Cafe Kesinai, we got there is 2 over 20 minus with the theoretical probability of Cafe Kesinai 4 over 25. Then we get it negative 0.06. Then we times with 100. Then we get it negative 6%. So in this experiment, out of 20 times of picking a random number, there is a 6% chance of not getting Cafe Manga over the theoretical probability. So for question F, what is the difference between experimental probability of Cafe Apple and the theoretical probability of obtaining Cafe Apple? Write answer as a percent rounded to the nearest whole percentage. So it is still same as question D and E. So we apply the same formula and same step. So for experimental probability of Cafe Apple, we got the 4 over 20 minus with the theoretical probability of Cafe Apple, which is 6 over 25. So we get the negative 0.04. Then we times with 100, then we get negative 4%. So in this experiment, out of 20 times of picking a random number, there is a 4% chance of not getting Cafe Apple over the theoretical probability.
For the next question, What is the experimental probability that the selected favorite cafe is not manga? To get the answer, we will use the formula of 1 minus probability experimental manga. 1 minus 40 divided by 20, we will get 3 per 10 or 30%. For the interpretation, out of 20 students, there are 30% who are not choosing manga. Next, what is the experimental probability that the selected favorite cafe is not Kesinai? 1 minus probability experimental Kesinai. 1 minus 2 divided by 20, and we will get 9 divided by 10 or 90%. For the interpretation, out of 20 students, there are 90% who are not choosing Kesinai. Next is, what is the experimental probability that the selected favorite cafe is not Apple? Okay, we will use the same formula. 1 minus probability experimental for Apple, which is 4 divided by 20. 1 minus 4 divided by 20, we will get 4 divided by 20, or we will get 80%. So for the interpretation, out of 20 students, there are 80% who are not choosing Apple. For the summary, based on the survey objective, the analysis reveals valuable insights into the preference of third semester students for manga, Kesinai, and Apple cafes at UiTM Perlis. The recorded preferences highlight the popularity of each cafe and the factors influencing student choices, including food quality, pricing, atmosphere, location, and service speed. By calculating the probability of students choosing each cafe, the student identify key factors driving their decisions. Furthermore, the cooperation between experimental probability derived from actual survey data and theoretical probability based on equal likelihood assumption showcases the impact of external factors on cafe preferences. This finding provide actionable insight for cafe operators to improve their services and demonstrate the practical application of statistical concepts in real-world decision making.